What's going on, family? This is Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. We're going to continue with the light heavyweight champion, one of my favorites of all times, Tommy Loughrans. Let's take a look at his career. Tommy Loughrans was a dancing master with a dream of a left hand. He more than made up in skill for his handicap that had hampered him since he suffered a seriously broken right hand earlier in his career, which inevitably meant a loss of punching power. He was an accomplished light heavyweight champion who beat Irishman Mike McTeague. Now see, Mike McTeague defeated Badalinski for that title over 15 rounds in New York in October 1927 to take the title. Jimmy Slattery, Leo Lomsky, Pete Latzo, Mickey Walker, and James J. Braddock, these are all Hall of Famers and were all champions, tried to dethrone him, but he outboxed every one of them. Early in his career, he was a middleweight and 6 times fought the great Harry Greb, beating him once on points in Boston in 1923. When Gene Tunney retired, Loughrans moved up to heavyweight in search of the biggest prize of all. But in spite of beating Max Baer and Jack Sharkey, he had a chastising experience when he fought Primo Carnera for the championship in Miami in March 1934. Loughrans conceded an incredible 86 pounds to 270 pounds Italian. Knowing he had to keep the giant at long range, he plastered his hair with the foulest smelling grease possible. Whenever they clinched, Carnera's eyes watered. He spluttered and broke free. But the lumbering champ still managed to trend on Loughrans' foot and crush his toes. Loughrans slowed as the fight wore on and lost on points. He fought until 1937, joined the U.S. Marines, and earned a fortune as a Wall Street broker. Born November 29, 1902, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Nationality, Irish-American. He weighed 170 to 175 pounds, stood 5 foot 11 inches, and was managed by Joe Smith. 1919, he knocked out Eddie Carter in 2 rounds. 1920, knocked out Bill Clark in 3, Eddie Moran in 4, Tommy Coley in 4, Kid Manuel in 4, Joe Brock in 2, Jack Smith in 4, no decision, Jim McBride in 6, Jack Williams in 6, Joe Willing in 6, John Dumfries in 6, Ed Dumfries in 6, Bernie McLaughlin in 6, and Rube Bennett in 8. 1921, he has several knockouts, as you can see. Leo Dillon in 6, Charlie O'Neill in 6, Jack Reck in 8, Kid West in 8, Roy Hoist in 1, Frankie Britton in 8, Al Miller in 8, Pat Bradley in 6, Ted Mitchell in 8. 1922, January 24th, Jimmy Dorsey, Philadelphia, no decision in 8. February 7th, Faye Kaiser. Now, I know you heard this name before. We discussed him in another fighter's career. Philadelphia, no decision in 8. February 28th, Brian Downey, very good fighter. Philadelphia, no decision in 8. March 21st, Jackie Clark, Philadelphia, no decision in 8. March 16th, Mike McTeague, Scranton, Pennsylvania, no decision in 8. April 28th, Jimmy Dorsey, Syracuse, New York, defeated him in 12 rounds. July 10th, Harry Greb, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, no decision in 8. August 24th, Gene Tunney, Philadelphia, no decision in 8. These are all great Hall of Famers. All of them. September 25th, Georgie Shade, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, no decision in 8. 1923, January 8th, Powell Reed, Newark, New Jersey, no decision in 12. January 15th, Harry Greb, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, no decision in 10. January 30th, Harry Greb, New York City, for the American light heavyweight title. He lost in 15 rounds. March 8th, Jeff Smith, outstanding middleweight, Scranton, Pennsylvania, no decision in 10. Now, see, all these fights, most of them were when Tommy Loughrans was a middleweight. June 18th, Jeff Smith, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, no decision in 8. June 25th, Mike Mateague, Philadelphia, no decision in 8. Mike Mateague was once a middleweight as well. August 2nd, Mike Mateague, WNY, New Jersey, no decision in 8. August 14th, Teddy Taylor, Pottsville, Pennsylvania, killed him in 2. September 14th, Jim Delaney, Oklahoma City, no decision in 10. October 11th, Harry Greb, Boston. He won in 10. He defeated Harry Greb. November 14th, Ted Moore, Boston, good fighter, 1 in 10. December 10th, another good fighter, Roland Todd, New York City, defeated him in 10. December 26th, Harry Greb, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, lost in 10. Harry Greb is my number 2 ranking of all fighters, behind Sam Langford. 1924, February 12th, Johnny Wilson, Boston, Massachusetts, defeated him in 10. February 19th, Jack Delaney, Boston, Massachusetts, he lost in 10 rounds. April 28th, Charlie Nassers, Detroit, Michigan, no decision in 10. And this continues. June 26th, Young Stribling, New York City, lost in 6. Young Stribling was a very good fighter. October 13th, Harry Greb, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He drew in 10 rounds with Harry Greb. November 20th, Georgie Blake, Williamsport, KO'd him in 2. 1925. And this goes on and on and on. His first loss that year was March 28th to Young Stribling, San Francisco. He lost in 10 rounds. June 11th, Martin Berkey, Brooklyn, New York, defeated him in 12 rounds. July 16th, Jack Delaney, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He drew with him in 10 rounds. Jack Delaney will be champion. King Solomon, very good fighter, December 25th, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, defeated him in 10 rounds. 1926, we're just going to scroll down. He got no decisions. He got victories. It's a very good year for him. He won on a file with Chuck Wiggins, October 29th. George Manley, Indianapolis, no decision in 10. That was November 29th. 1927, January 10th, Tony Marullo, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 10-round victory. February 15th, Johnny Risco, the Cleveland Baker boy, defeated him in 10. Let's move on. August 8th, Benny Ross, Buffalo, New York, defeated him in 12. March 16th, Joe Loughrans, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, defeated him in 10. May 3rd, Young Stribling, Brooklyn, New York, defeated him in 10. He won the light heavyweight championship from Mike Mateague. Mike Mateague, as we discussed earlier, took the title away from Balin Siki, who took the title away from George Carpentier. November 14th, Pat McCarthy, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, defeated him in 10 rounds. December 12th, Jimmy Slattery, New York City. He won in 15 rounds. That was a title bout. 1928, January 6th, Leo Lomsky, very good fighter, New York City, defeated him in 15 rounds. June 1st, Pete Latzo, Brooklyn, New York, he defeated him in 15 rounds. Pete Latzo would be champion. July 16th, he fought Pete Latzo again. New York City, defeated him in 10. Back to June 28th, Armand Emanuel, New York City, defeated him in 10. He was a very good fighter. That's why I wanted to go back to him. October 1st, Jack Gross, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, defeated him in 10. December 17th, Big Boy Peterson, I remember him, Chicago, defeated him in 10 rounds. That was not a title bout. 1929, Armand Emanuel, Los Angeles, California, defeated him in 10 rounds. That was February 5th. March 8th, Mickey Walker, Chicago, defeated him in 10 rounds. As you know, Mickey Walker was a welterweight and a middleweight champion. Took the title from Tiger Flowers and Pete Latzo. Very good fighter. May 24th, Ernie Scaff, Boston, Massachusetts, defeated him in 10 rounds. July 18th, Jimmy Braddock, New York, defeated him in 15 rounds for the vacant title to campaign for the heavyweight. So that was basically campaigning. It was almost elimination type of a bout. 1930, February 28th, Pierre Charles, good fighter, Miami, Florida, defeated him in 10 rounds. April 28th and June 11th, Ernie Scaff, Philadelphia, lost twice to him, 10 rounds. November 17th, Kingfish Levinsky, Chicago, Illinois. He defeated him in 10 rounds. Kingfish Levinsky fought Joe Louis. Got killed in 1 round in that fight. 1931, February 6th, Max Baer, New York City, defeated him in 10 rounds. March 17th, Ernie Scaff, New York City, defeated him in 10 rounds. March 27th, Tuffy Griffith, Chicago, defeated him in 10 rounds. Back to Ernie Scaff. Ernie Scaff was the fighter that Max Baer, he touched him up real nice, unfortunately for Ernie Scaff. And then when Primo Carnera got to him, they said that Primo Carnera killed him. He just tapped the blood vessel that was already inserted with a right hand from Max Baer. November 13th, Paulino Escudon, New York City, defeated him in 10 rounds. December 18th, Kingfish Levinsky, New York City, lost in 10 rounds. Back to May 15th, Victorio Campolo, very tall fighter. He was the same height as Primo Carnera, New York City, defeated him in 10 rounds. 1932, January 15th, Steve Hamish fought him 3 times in a row, May 11th and June 29th. New York City KO'd by in 2. He lost to him in 10 rounds and he defeated him in 10 rounds. Another good fighter, October 17th, Stanley Perolda, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He lost to him in 10 rounds. And this goes on and on and on with Tommy Loughrans. 1933, January 10th, Kingfish Levinsky, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, defeated him in 10 rounds. Walter Cobb, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, defeated him in 10 rounds. That was February 6th. April 21st, a very good win, defeated him in 10 rounds. Idorsa, I can't pronounce his last name, I can't, but I know of this fighter, very good fighter. July 26th, Johnny Risco, the Cleveland Baker boy, Chicago, Illinois, defeated him. He got defeated actually in 10 rounds. September 27th, Jack Sharkey, would-be heavyweight champion, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 15-round victory, very good victory for Tommy Loughrans. November 22nd, Ray Pelletier, another big fighter, same size as Primo Carnera, New York City, defeated him in 10 rounds. 1934, March 1st, Primo Carnera, Miami, lost to him in 15 rounds for the world heavyweight title. I'm very surprised he didn't get that victory. May 4th, Walter Nizzo, very good fighter, New York City, 10-round loss. July 31st, Johnny Risco, Freeport, Long Island, lost to him in 10. October 20th, Arturo Godoy, Buenos Aires, a 12-round decision. Or actually a 12-round draw, excuse me. Arturo Godoy had 2 fights with Joe Louis. 1935, January 5th, Arturo Godoy, Buenos Aires. He defeated him in 12 rounds. March 16th, Arturo Godoy. He lost to him in 12 rounds. May 20th, Al Lator, another Joe Louis opponent, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He defeated him in 10 rounds. June 20th, Ray Pelletier. He was a Primo Carnera opponent. Philadelphia defeated him in 10 rounds. July 29th, Eddie Sims, Joe Louis opponent. Toronto, Canada, defeated him in 10 rounds. 1936, January 5th, Tommy Farr went the distance with Joe Louis. In London, 10 rounds, a loss for Tommy Loughrans. So Tommy Loughrans lost to Tommy Farr in 10 rounds. July 6th and July 30th, Al McCoy, Montreal. He lost 10 rounds to him, and it was a 12-round draw with him as well. Ray Pelletier, September 16th, Oakland, California. He defeated him in 10 rounds. His last fight, 1937, January 18th, Sonny Walker, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, defeated him in 10 rounds. He enlisted in 1942 in the U.S. Marines. So Tommy Loughran, outstanding light heavyweight champion. Fought them all. Great fighter. Salute to Tommy Loughran. It's been entered in my Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuff series. Salute.